Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I've started punching the buttons even before we started this morning.
I wanted to give a special shout out this morning to any of my Wide Days related friends who I've been busy tagging on Facebook because I'm super sad that I'm not in Edinburgh, which I was supposed to be. And lockdown hasn't been so bad until this week. And I'm really feeling it this week because we were going to be doing Music Venue Trust regional meetings. We were going to be in Liverpool, we were going to be in Leeds, and then from there I was going to go up to Edinburgh. And I go to Edinburgh pretty much every April. So this is the best we can do and not being able to fly there. So
Feed is live now, so if you want to hit the share, you can hit the share and then that helps more people to see it.
And we're doing a slightly Wide Days Scottish related Elevenses this morning.
We are, and so big hello to Olaf and Michael.
And the whole Wide Days family. I know they're doing their own Zoom broadcasty thing later.
I should already say at this point, you go to Wide Days.
Yeah, you don't go.
It's too cold.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't hold Wide Days in Barbados. Then I would definitely go.
Because Edinburgh is lovely and you don't know what you're missing.
All right. No, I like Edinburgh. It's just in April. That's my problem with it.
So we're going to introduce our very special guests, and the reason that they are very special guests is I met them at Wide Days. So,
drum roll.
Please meet Emily and Graham, the Jellyman's daughter.
Good morning.
Hi. Hey, morning.
Morning, guys. So, I've never asked you, and I want to ask you, why the Jellyman's daughter?
I thought we'd got away with that one. Graham,
No, you now got to tell anyone that's watching why are you called the Jellyman's daughter.
Well, it's one of those things that really, over the years, we've had people come up to us after gigs and going like, I figured out what the Jellyman's daughter is. It's this thing. What was the best story?
Oh man, it's actually all kind of like negative, weird connotation. Yeah. Apparently, Jellyman have been like a bunch of things in history that are all kind of a bit weird. And I think if you look it up in the dictionary, the actual definition is a castrated man is a Jellyman. And so the fact he'd have a daughter is weird, but like it's a very personal reason that no one can guess. So we kind of just preferred to hear what everyone else thought it meant.
Mm-hmm. But we like that people think that we named our band after a castrated man.
Well, fair enough. That's an answer.
I remember when we met Olaf, he was like, the Jellyman's daughter. Like, what the hell? But it comes up on Google every time. And it'll maybe stick in your mind.
The listeners out there can do their own research, try and figure it out.
See if you can.
But that's actually so important, isn't it? Because there are so many artists with similar names that it gets quite confusing, and your name is quite distinctive, and so people will remember it. And so I suppose that does help. So for people who don't know you, do you want to just explain what you do, what your musical world is all about?
Yeah, Graham, you can take this one as well.
What do we do? Music. We play music on instruments.
That's a bit non-specific, Graham. I was hoping for, which instruments and what your influences are and that kind of thing.
We started out, me and Emily, mostly on cello and guitar.
Yeah, mainly like the cello thing. Graham plays really percussively, which a lot of cellists... it's not the standard way it's rock and roll, death metal cello sometimes, as opposed to classical. And we like a good harmony. Yeah. We've been singing together for like 10 years now, so.
Definitely of the Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings school of harmony and the Milk Carton Kids and those kinds of. We've
been labelled like Americana through the years, but when we write a song, it's kind of just any genre goes. And we've got a lot of different influences between us, so we try and just blend that and see what comes out. And we always just say the song is what the song is, and it doesn't have to fit any kind of thing.
We kind of have quite a large dynamic range. Like some of our songs are just the quietest you could possibly imagine, and then some of them are just like very loud cello.
Yeah. And everything.
I have to say, for me, as somebody who used to play the cello,
nice.
We're being told you're still a little quiet, apparently. Is it possible to turn it up a bit, Graham?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
Is
try
that
now.
better?
Here. Is that better?
Is that better? Comments, people? It seems like it's better to us. Maybe a little. Just turn it up a little bit more if you can.
maybe turn it up while you're talking and then turn it slightly down while you're playing, so we
Well,
don't deafen Emily, because obviously that's terribly important.
Okay. And we can also just come a bit closer.
That's good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right.
No, I mean, for me,
It's good.
when I first saw you play a showcase, the fact that Graham was playing the cello in this amazing way was really fabulous for me, because I used to play the cello. I haven't done it for many, many years, and I'm not a good cellist, but I absolutely love the instrument, and you don't see enough cello.
You don't.
So to have the use of cello in music in a showcase at a music convention was just, it was really, really lovely. And then I got to know you as well, so that was even better. But yeah, that's not saying I don't love the ones without the cello, but I think it was partly what hooked me in.
The guys, Olaf and Michael, are really good at picking like a bit of a mix of everything at Wide Days. It's always
Absolutely.
like, it'll be like, you know, us to some jazz stuff to like some Olaf's choice of Swedish death metal people wearing masks, maybe, who knows.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael's just joined us. We're just looking at the comments on the side, so we can say,
Michael's online. Hi,
hi,
Michael.
Mike,
Good
how you
morning,
doing?
Mike. And I think, Wide Days, I think they're doing something online later today.
They
aren't
are,
they?
yeah.
I
They're
think.
doing a get together in the hope that the actual event can happen in July. But whether you guys will be around is something that nobody knows at the moment, because you had a busy old year planned, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to be away a lot, and then summer was British festivals, but all of them have been cancelled up until autumn, and it's even looking like autumn, and even some in December are not wanting to commit to anything yet. There was I think yesterday or in the news, it was kind of pubs and live music places might not be open this year. So
Well, we're not really accepting that at the moment. We're hoping.
Yeah, I mean, that's just too sad to think about. So
It
hopefully not. But I mean, I think and all musicians in Scotland will be around. You know, we'll be looking for things to do.
Well, I think that's very much what we're thinking is there'll have to be something, because music is so important to so many people. What that looks like, we don't know yet. Obviously, we're working on all sorts of things, but you know, our conversations with musicians, as much as our conversations with venues, shows that just the idea that it's all off for the year just isn't something we can accept. You know, so we will all do our creative thing and try and come up with something. But everybody's heard enough of us talking now. Could we ask you to play, please?
Of course. All right. All right. I'll take my.
We'll drop out. We'll
Scoot
do
back
it.
a little bit. We're gonna play a new song that we wrote last week, kind of inspired by all of this, but hopefully not a doom and gloomy one. What's it called? I won't be going anywhere. All right, cool. And hopefully you can still play it at 11 a.m. All right. Sun's up, but we're still in bed. 'Cause each day is like a wrecking ball, straight to the head. And I forget, take back all the things I said. I'll be here in the morning. Scoots back in again.
It's weird to hear applause these days.
I know.
I'm feeling a bit teary, so. No, Frank Turner said that to us. He came on one of these last week, and he said it was the first time he'd heard 2 lots of applause rather than just his wife, because he's doing all these amazing lockdown broadcasts. But I mean, literally, he's got Jess and the cat there, and everything else is on screen, which he's not getting the feedback.
Yeah.
Totally. At least he has his wife. We don't clap each other. We just criticize each other.
Well, I think Jess and Frank play together as well sometimes, but yeah, it is different if it's obviously you're always playing together, aren't you?
Yeah, and this is our first live stream. So this is also really weird. We're kind of figuring it all out. We've kind of been avoiding it for a while, but we really want to rip that.
Well, it sounded awesome.
Oh,
So thank you. It was really lovely.
And loads of good reactions as well. Well, dozens and dozens of applause symbols, but also
Nice.
people suggesting, another band with a cello for a bass player was the Bambi Slam.
Oh, I haven't heard of those.
No, all right. I'm definitely going to go and check that out, though. Michael Lambert says this is exactly the kind of mellow goodness I needed with my mid-morning coffee.
Mellow goodness. Hi, Michael.
And we've got people coming in from Japan. Our friend Julian from Japan says that was
nice.
lovely. And then we've got people over from, we've got people from all over actually today. All over today. Who else is that? Wow, no, just tons of people.
And a few.
And you've got Rhoda Daka. Do you know Rhoda? Do you know Rhoda Daka? No, Rhoda's very, very well in my musical education. Very important singer. Sang with lots of the Body Snatchers and did a single with the Specials. And
Rhoda
also,
was interviewed by Olaf a couple of years ago at Wide Days, so I hooked her into my Wide Days post, and she's joined us this morning. So
morning, Rhoda.
hi, Rhoda.
Hello.
Come on, Elevenses with us as well.
Yeah. come on, you should do the hits.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So, you were in. How did you get back from Australia? You was
it was a real. We were really pulled out. We were having an amazing tour. It was week 2 or something, and the other guys, we started it as a duo, and then our banjo and bass player had just joined us, which is a shame. It was their first time in Australia, and they'd been out for a few days, and we woke up on the morning of Blue Mountains Music Festival just outside of Sydney, raring to go in a beautiful sunny day, and our agent called us and said there had been a confirmed case of coronavirus in the small town of Katoomba that it's held in, so they had to pull it on the morning, and then but all the folk had driven up for it. So we were kind of just on our outside, kind of just jamming, just wondering what to do. We were supposed to be playing festival all day, and then managed to. It was one of those kind of serendipitous, people walking past, hey, you've got instruments. Come in. I don't know why they have an American accent in Australia. But
Hey, come and play
come
your
play
stuff.
for us. So we had this makeshift venue at the local YMCA or something, and got loads of folk, and just did a wee that was our last gig we've done this year, and then we got a call from Showcase Scotland that night, who were kind of sponsoring the tour, and said, you got to come home now because it's going to be a real struggle in a few days. And so we just drove the next day to the airport and immediately got on a plane, 24-hour flight, and in Edinburgh, when we got there, we were like, whoa, what's just happened?
Yeah. Well, I mean, thank goodness you had Showcase Scotland to help get you home.
Totally. We would have been, I don't know if we could have afforded to have come home. You're kind of relying on those tours after spending all the money on your travel and your visas. You're needing the festival fees. So thank you, Showcase Scotland and Year of Scotland, and all of the people in Creative Scotland who helped us get home.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're pleased you're safe, even if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Well, they are going to do what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, yes, but just for us. It's not exactly the same as an Australian festival, is it?
You mean it's worse just being beamed down the line to us and everybody else, rather than being on a tour in Australia?
I'm saying it's probably not as rewarding for Emily and Graham as if they've been Australian.
So. Yeah.
This is, you know what? This has got us up before noon. Yeah. So really, you're really helping
Well, that's the idea, isn't it? I mean, part of our idea is that we started doing this just because we were just worked out we were just working from like 5 a.m. in the morning through till 10 o'clock at night, and I have literally no idea what time it was. Like that was
Exactly.
it. So it's just trying to put a bit of structure in the day where you stop and go, okay, what's happening? What's you know?
No, it's totally amazing you guys are doing this, because if anything, just like routine is helping everyone right now, you know, because otherwise, I mean, if this does go on for months, we're all going to need to get into some sort of pattern. So you guys might be doing this for a while.
We might have to hold an 11 p.m. one though. That's what we were saying yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
we've got a few musician friends that are actually in LA, and we were sort of saying, well, maybe there's an Elevenses with whiskey or bourbon or gin or something. But, you know, this is the one with tea and coffee, and maybe we have, you know, the nighttime Elevenses as well.
Yeah, a little bit more raucous. The possibilities,
So, have you got a second song you could do?
Yes. We're going to play something a little bit more upbeat. This is probably something you heard at the 2014 Wide Days, and Graham will get his cello out. Although, having said all of that percussive stuff, this is just going to be a little pizzicato cello for the morning. This is probably one of our only happy-ish songs. So we have to
We're
play
going to
it.
drop out and leave you to it, guys.
Just for everybody watching, the Facebook link is along the page. So if everybody clicks a like on that, I think that's well worth it. And we'll be back after you song.
All right, cool. See you in a minute. All right. Are we speak to you now? All right. This is called Anna. Go for it.
One, two, three.
Anna, won't you come out to play? Oh, you know it's been a long day. And Anna, oh, I've got so much to say. Are you getting here soon? 'Cause I don't wanna talk about it anymore. Sitting here alone just don't feel right. Do you wanna get in? Because I want to be right by your side. Troubles that you don't like to hide, or you wear them on the outside. And troubles that play on your mind, just let them go. 'Cause I don't wanna talk about it anymore. But sitting here alone just don't feel right. Do you wanna get in? Because I want to be right by your side.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
That was astonishingly good.
You see, he's not seen you live before, whereas I know what you do.
I think that might be the first cello solo I've ever seen.
So I was just going to say to people, if they've enjoyed your music this morning, that you are on Spotify. Dead Reckoning is such a fantastic album.
Oh,
So that's on there. If you've got other albums on there as well?
We have our first album, which was around the time of Wide Days.
Yeah.
And we have our new EP, which was last year, that's got a couple of covers on it, a Billie Eilish cover and a Simon and Garfunkel, and then a couple of original songs. And that's just the duo EP. And the album is 4-piece and string orchestra, so all very different things.
And it's lush. Absolutely lush.
And in the new song that we played, that first one, anyone can download it if they feel like they're having financial struggles, or you can pay however much you want for it.
Oh yeah, that's on our website, the new one.
Yeah.
So on the website, yeah?
Yeah, I saw that one when you released it. It's beautiful, but it keeps making me have a tear in my eye.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Our friend Stevie Smith is online, and she runs the Americana Fest UK, and she said you've got to come in 2021.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be
Definitely
there.
got to come. I agree with Stevie. I mean, that was absolutely exceptional. That's one of my favourites so far. You win.
Aww.
I win.
I do think that Tom Hunt playing Ace of Spades alone in his bedroom yesterday was pretty good, but I mean that was off the chart.
It's
good.
not Emily and Graham though, is it? So.
Sorry, Tom. But
Thank you.
So, I continue to love what you do, and it's really lovely to see your faces. And
Lovely to see your faces.
I hope we will actually see each other in person sometime soon. But in the meantime, people have got the info there. They can go check out the Jellyman's Daughter, and we will speak soon, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
it.
coming in. That was really amazing.
Bye bye.
Wow, that was
There you go.
That was off the chart.
I'm feeling suitably Wide Days kind of
That cello
appropriate.
playing. That cello playing was really interesting. I'm going to go and have a go on your cello.
But no, it's what the guys were saying about the music that Olaf and Mike find for the showcases is so diverse and so brilliant. It's all about showcasing Scottish music. And it's part of why it's so brilliant.
I remember you coming back and saying, I've seen this band and they're absolutely brilliant. But that's the first time I've actually seen them do it live. I've heard the songs and everything, which is impressive. But actually just to see that.
See it live.
Yeah.
It's special.
I mean, I started playing, I originally started playing bass. So to see somebody do that on the cello was really, wow, that was, yeah.
I know. It's because I was not a good cellist.
Yeah.
But Graham's a very good cellist.
Well, you say that, but I just like watching you play the cello.
Right, I think that's definitely the point at which we need to get back to work. Join us again.
Well, just say, also you've got the Gentleman's Daughter there, but it's worth checking out Wide Days on Facebook. I think Michael and Olaf are doing some things online. I think you can watch
later today. You can join
in. I think they're doing an interview with Steve Zapp, and I think they've got a pub quiz or something.
They do, yes.
And it's one of our favourite music festivals. You know, really, people who run it are just brilliant, and it's so sad it's not happening, but hopefully you can join in with something they're doing. Bev's missing Edinburgh.
Yeah, well, if we're allowed, I'll go in July, which is when it's scheduled for at the moment.
Yeah,
so all we can do is keep our fingers crossed. Have a good Friday, everybody, and we'll be back for Elevenses tomorrow.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.